Hi, this is Steve Reed, Stephen Reed Ministries. First, I want to say thank you for stopping by my profile here on Thumbtack. I greatly appreciate you taking a look. I hope that something that I say, something that I've written, piques your interest and you'll reach out. Maybe I could be your coach as you put maybe some broken pieces back together so you can move forward with your life. Maybe there are just some rough edges that you need to have polished out a little bit. Now, a little bit about me and my background. My undergraduate degree is in psychology, and while I didn't use the degree per se for the first 10 years or so of my working life, I did use the things that I learned. I learned a lot about people, and I used those things to understand people better. Well, in the late 80s, I started to discover things about the different personality temperaments. And I learned first about the Greek temperaments, the cholerics, sanguines, phlegmatics, and melancholies. And while I understood the temperaments, sometimes it was difficult to explain those things to my clients. So I switched over to the DISC model. That's D-I-S-C. A D is a very domineering and demanding person. They're the drivers of the organization. And I is typically very inspirational. They're influential people. And S, very supportive, very stable individuals. And a C is very cautious and calculating. They're the carpenters of the world that measure twice and cut once. Well, as I started to learn more and more about the different temperaments, I found myself teaching more and more people and coaching people so that they would understand the different temperaments themselves. One of the things that I started hearing a lot was when I was dealing with a new coaching client and I'm explaining the DISC program to them, they frequently say, "Oh, that's why they do that." And people are starting to understand not only their personality type, but also the temperaments of the people that they are working with or even living with. I've got a lot of stories about people and how they've had those light bulb or aha moments along the way. Well, as I started doing more and more coaching with DISC, I discovered that I would start to actually delve into other areas of people's lives, and I started helping them peel back some of the layers of junk that sometimes they had swept under the carpet, and as a result, they kept tripping over these things. Well, I would come along, we would lift up the carpet, we would identify the issues, deal with the issue, and then sweep it out and then put the carpet down so it's laying nice and flat so they don't trip over those things anymore. But along the way, I help them put some other positive things in there so that they can focus on the positives instead of the negatives. I've coached a lot of people with a lot of different issues, and the issues have been things from very intense hurts from people that maybe a spouse had an affair. Maybe they were raped or molested when they were young children. Maybe they've been a victim or they've been rejected in their lives. One of the things that I've done also with the coaching is I've coached a lot of couples and I've helped them resolve some issues along the way. Sometimes the issue is one person needs to get quote unquote fixed. I don't do the fixing. All I do is I give the tools to the people so that they can fix themselves. And along the way, when one person is fixed, oftentimes the other person either is fixed themselves or they are starting to seek ways to get their lives in order as well. So I'm also a marriage and a pre-marriage coach. I use a tool that's called Prepare Enrich. It is a fabulous assessment tool that identifies some possible weak spots in the relationships. As I'm coaching couples, both young and old, that are getting ready to get married, they go through the assessment. I get the analysis of how they have answered the different questions, and that points out some of the areas where we need to work. It could be things like conflict resolution. It could be communication skills. Maybe it's financial management. Maybe it's how you deal with family and friends. There are 10 different categories that I work with couples on and help them put together a better understanding of themselves and the people that they are engaging with. I do virtually the same thing when I'm dealing with established married couples. Now, when I say established, it could be 6 months, 6 years, or 60 years. It doesn't make any difference. But I help couples deal with the different areas in their lives. Again, it may be something as simple as fixing some communication issues. Maybe they're not listening to each other properly. One of the things that I learned along the way is God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we should use them in proportion. Well, I've learned also that it's better to listen to hear than it is to listen to respond. And I find that a lot of couples are listening to respond more than they are to simply listen to their spouse. Well, if any of this sounds like it could be of help to you in your relationship, I'd love to visit with you. Please, I ask you to reach out, send me a note, and tell me you'd like to get together and talk a little bit more. Now, I'm here in the North Dallas area, but it doesn't make any difference where I am because we've got some really cool things called a telephone and also things like Skype. I do a lot of coaching with people via Skype, so we can actually see each other and build more of a relationship that way as well. Again, if any of this sounds like it's something you'd like to learn more about, maybe you've got some rough spots in your life or in your married life, and you need some help getting through some of these things, please feel free to reach out. I look forward to working with you in the very near future. This is Steve Reed, Stephen Reed Ministries. Bye for now.